Well, if you can't tell by what is going on in front of you today, backed by popular demand, I've had just too many people ask me, Jake, what is your way of shipping your MTG cards? Well, today we're going to talk about it, how I ship my Magic the Gathering cards. We're going to go over all of this stuff. This is essentially everything that you'll need in order to do it well. I've maintained 100% positive feedback since 2009 as a seller. This should be your definitive guide for shipping cards, whether you're watching this in late 2020 or 2021. The video starts right now.
Special thanks to our Patreon supporters who power our channel. Check out our Patreon for monthly giveaways, exclusive content, and even a starring role in our fan fight series. Link in the description below.
For a limited time only, if you join the Patreon at any level, you will receive a holographic Jake and Joel Are Magic logo sticker. Link in the description below. Hello and welcome to the day. Thank you for spending your time with us. I'm Jake. Welcome back to another episode of Jake and Joel Are Magic. We're going to talk about how I ship cards on eBay, specifically the shipping. I'm not talking about how to buy and sell cards on eBay. I'm talking specifically about my shipping process, how I package cards, and the ways that I cover my butt to make sure that if there's an unscrupulous buyer, I'm not getting screwed over. If you like these videos where we talk about this kind of stuff and just like the practicality of being a Magic the Gathering collector and how to do things efficiently, I encourage you to click like and click subscribe. I'm going to let you know about our goal in 2020. We are trying to hit 10,000 subscribers. So whether you're watching this in 2020 or 2021, not much is going to change. So I will delete this video if any major updates need to happen, but in 2021, I don't expect that to be a thing. If you want to check us out on Patreon, you can as well. Any level gets you into the Discord. It's a great community and it might be a good fit for you. So I have said all the things. I think we should start this off by talking about what each of these items are. And then after we talk about all this stuff and what it is, we're going to talk about the main three scenarios that I find myself in as a seller and how to navigate those as well. For those of you who don't know, I've been buying and selling on eBay since 2009. I got really hardcore into the game in 2009 when Joel and Dom and a couple of our other friends were like, hey, you should play Magic the Gathering. And I was like, no, you guys are lame. I'm not going to do that. And now here we are. So first things first, what you're going to need, this is, I use these regular envelopes for freaking everything. If I'm sending just like a single or like low-end cards, this is my go-to. These are 3 5/8 by 6 1/2 inches stamps, a roll of stamps. You can simply get these at the post office. I think this is 50 or 100. It's a coil of 100 forever stamps. Next, these are additional ounce stamps. It's specifically for if you have a package or envelope that's just a little bit heavier, but you don't want to spend an entire extra stamp on it. This is for padded envelopes. You're not going to be using this on the small envelopes we just talked about, but this is just a bulk package of to and from. Pen and a Sharpie, a pair of scissors, regular card sleeves, and I also have thick penny sleeves. There is a difference, and I use both. These are the graded card submission semi-rigid card holders. You can get these at any like sports card shop. I'm really lucky I have like a big surplus shop that I go to, but these are just semi-rigid loaders. I prefer these over top loaders. I'm going to talk about why. We have packing tape. We have regular Scotch tape. And again, we just talked about it. Regular top loaders, I'm going to talk about the situations where I do use these. And then this is just bulk padded envelopes. These are just a little bit bigger than the envelopes that I showed you, but this is what I ship high-end stuff in, padded envelopes. Also, you're going to need just like a small little pad of paper. This is just like a small little post-it notes. All right, so in the first situation we're going to find ourselves in, we're going to be shipping something low-end, just like a card. I typically do not send stuff that is like $1 or less. After I've packaged it, sold it, taken an eBay fee, it's just not worth my time, so I will end up buy listing stuff like that. So let's just go through the folder. We're going to find something low-end that we need to send out, just something that I am not going to be tracking. Tracking is going to be reserved for higher end stuff. So let's just say we're sending out this Robber of the Rich extended art card. I think this might be worth like $5 or $6. It's the kind of thing where if it got lost in transit, I wouldn't be upset about it. That's going to be something that happens so infrequently. So this is already in a sleeve, but if it wasn't, I would put it into a penny sleeve. And then what I would do is I would use my little pad of paper here, okay? Because it's all about generating that good feedback. All right, so I'm going to write on this, thank you, please leave feedback, exclamation point. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it right on the card over the penny sleeve. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this thick sleeve here. This is one of our thick penny sleeves. Oh, could this bag please not be like a pain in the ass right now? There we go. So I'm going to take one of these thick sleeves, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it right over my message. So now we have this card here, and it is double sleeved. So now because this isn't going in a padded envelope, which is going to be reserved for my high-end stuff, this is just going to go right into the semi-rigid. Now, Jake, why are you using a semi-rigid loader and not a top loader? Well, here's the thing. Top loaders, sometimes when you put them in a regular envelope, they make it difficult to go through the postal system. When you send something in an envelope, that item is machinable. It goes through a system of sorting, and if you have one stamp on it, sometimes that item will get lost, it will get sent back to you. So we've got our Robber of the Rich in our semi-rigid loader. It is double sleeved. For some reason there's a hair in there that's really annoying. But then after we get to this point, what I like to do is we get our Scotch tape. Boom. I like to take a piece of Scotch tape, I put it right on the back. And then what I do, and this is going to sound silly, and it's going to sound kind of tedious, but I like to fold over a corner here. So now there's like a little flap on the Scotch tape. And then I fold it over and I put it right over the card. So at this point now you should see why I put that extra sleeve on top of the card. If this moves around in transit, if that card were to pop up, sometimes it could get out of the semi-rigid loader, that card could hit the tape, and then there's residue on the top of the card. But now because of that extra sleeve in there, you could see that I'm protecting the top of the card, I'm protecting the bottom of the card. Again, the little note that I wrote is just on the sleeve, it's not actually on the card. So at this point, our card is pretty much ready to go. So we just go ahead, we take our envelope, and this would obviously be addressed to where it's going. I would write something on it like, "You are great." No, I'm just kidding. It would be their name and address. And then at this point, what we like to do, and I never lick these envelopes, but I'm just going to show you before we seal this so you can see the difference. This is going to be nice and bendy because of that semi-rigid loader. So when this goes through the machining process at the USPS facility, it's not going to have a problem going through, and we're only going to have to use one stamp on it. If it were an Ultra Pro top loader in here, the difference is pretty dramatic. It doesn't move as much. It's a lot more rigid. And this is going to have a lot more trouble going through the post office. If you only have top loaders, I'm going to tell you right now, what you can do is just put 2 stamps on it. If you put 2 stamps on it, that means that it needs to be hand sorted. This is why I, as a seller, prefer these semi-rigids. I save money on stamps. I have never ever had a problem just plopping the card in a semi-rigid loader, put 1 stamp on this, and then what I like to do, and I'm just going to show you for the video, I'm not going to put a stamp on it because that's a waste, but I don't care about one envelope. But I'm going to show you what I like to do as far as securing the envelope to make sure that that's not going to get damaged in transit. I always tape the back. This is what I do instead of licking the envelope. I just tape it up, and then I have a small piece of tape that I like to do right like this on the side. Just like, you could just see it's just barely on there, and then I flip it over, and most of that tape goes on the other side. So what this does is it secures that edge. If this edge gets bumped, it's a lot harder to rip. It's a lot harder to tear. You see what I'm doing? Because of that tape, it's going to be a lot more difficult to damage this envelope. I do that same thing on the other side. And then I never really worry about taping my address. But what I do is, we'll say, buyer address, because you never know what kind of inclement weather this is going to go through. What I do is I always go like this. Boom. So, I want to talk about this really quick. If this were a play set of cards, I'm going to tell you, just from my experience, if it's a play set of cards, you need to put 2 stamps on it. If it's 1 card as is in here, that's fine. You can use 1 stamp, all right? This is the other thing you need to do. You need to figure out what price a card needs to be in order for you to want to send it first class package. The big difference is first class package, and we're going to talk about first class package coming up here in a second. The big difference is that first class is going to have tracking. So there is going to be delivery confirmation that comes with that. And so the buyer can't say that it didn't arrive. Okay. Now there are going to be certain situations where buyers are going to claim certain things and everything has a caveat. But I'm telling you, 99 buyers out of 100 are just good people. Only 1 out of 100 are really trying to screw you over. So again, if this had been 4 cards, what I would do, here's just four jank cards here. If this had been a playset, what I would have done is I would have taken my regular card sleeves, just like we normally did. Playset of cards, this is 4 cards. I would have put them in this. I would have put my little note on the cards. Boom. It would be on there. Say, hey, you're great. Then I take this and again, put it in upside down, make sure that both ends of the cards are secure, okay? And then I would take my semi-rigid loader, put all the cards in, tape it up, and then put it in here just like the other one. I would tape the sides the same, put tape over the address, and the only difference between this is going to have one stamp for one card, 2 stamps for a play set, or what you could do is you could go to the post office and you could buy these additional ounce stamps. These are cheaper stamps. I think they're 15 cents a piece, and they just add an additional ounce. You're paying for an additional ounce on your package, and it will compensate for it being non-machinable. This is, again, the kind of thing that you're going to want to use if you're using top loaders. Just because top loaders are difficult for the machines to deal with, a lot of people use top loaders and don't have a problem with them, but I'm telling you, if you want to cover your butt and you're using top loaders, use 2 stamps. Semi-rigids are what I use if I'm trying to save money on postage. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the other way that I ship cards. The only time that you'll ever really need scissors is to like trim up like tape or anything or cut off excess. This isn't that big a deal, but it's always helpful to have scissors. So we go back to the binder here and we're looking for something high end. Let's just say we're going to send off this like brand new pack fresh Caracas, brand new from Legends. So this is a card. And for me, I'm just going to tell you, if the card is over $25, I ship it with tracking. What is tracking? Jake, I'm selling cards for the first time. I was born under a rock. What is tracking? Tracking is a number that the USPS is going to give you when you send an item that you want to make sure that it arrives at the destination. It's more complex than a stamp. A stamp is simply like YOLO. I put a stamp on it. I sent it in a mailbox. It's going to make it 99% of the time. It's going to make it. To make sure, like if you're sending something a little bit higher end, I've sent something as expensive as a guy's cradle on eBay before. I did not get screwed over because what you do is you make sure that you send these items with tracking. For really high-end items, like Gaia's Cradle, the one that I sold, it was years ago. I sold it for $230. So I sent it with tracking, not with insurance. Insurance is going to be the kind of thing that you're going to want to deal with if the item is really, really expensive. You want to cover your ass additionally. I don't normally deal with insurance. I normally just deal with tracking, and it's done me well up until this point. There are also things that you can do on eBay to restrict certain buyers, to make sure that certain buyers cannot buy your items. If there are people that have, low feedback, for me, like 98% or lower, I'm not letting you buy my stuff. All right, so in this situation, when we're shipping this card, what we're going to need are our padded envelopes. So there's our envelope. It's just simple. I'll just show you. Inside of it is bubble wrap. It just has a nice peel-off sticker, nice, simple, easy seal. All right, so this Caracas actually won't work because I want to talk about how we're shipping the card. So let's grab a different card out of here. All right, so here we go. Let's say we're sending out this chrome box. What I would do with this, and this is already sleeved up. If it wasn't sleeved, I would sleeve it, obviously. And then this is where you can use your top loaders. If you have top loaders left over, great. I like to get rid of these because I don't use them a lot. They are very effective if you have a commander or something like that. But what I would do is I would sleeve this card up, plop it right in a top loader. Boom. Again, we're going to put our tape right over the top. Great. This is ready to go. I would write my little note on here. Feedback, please. And then I would put that in there. Boom. Ready to go. We would peel this seal off, put it on there, and then what I do is I take my packing tape, I tape right across the back, make sure that this is all taped up, If you don't have top loaders, this is going to work just as well. You can just put the semi-rigid right in here and it's going to arrive just fine. Nobody is bending these packages on the way. I don't even put do not bend on my stuff. This isn't going to require a bunch of packing tape like the normal envelopes will. This item, because you're shipping it with tracking, is going to be packed with more care, and the USPS is going to make sure that it's taken care of. You're paying more money to get it to its destination, so they're going to give you better care. And then that's when I would fill one of these out, just my address, write something on here like, "You are great. I hope you do great things." I'm just kidding. That's your buyer's address. Put that on there. And then this I actually do tape over. So I would just put sticker on here and then packing tape on top of it. And the reason, again, is because you want to make sure that that address does not get damaged in any kind of way. Once this is on there, all you do is take it to the post office, tell them you want to ship it first class with tracking. They're going to ask you, do you need insurance? They're going to say anything harmful, hazardous, liquid, perishable, any paraphernalia, organic material, batteries, lithium, whatever. And you just say no, nothing like that is in here. You're going to pay about $4.20 in order to send it. So that's why I say, make sure you know how much you care about the card and what price you're willing to pay if the buyer says it doesn't arrive. If you send them a $50 card in a plain white envelope, like we talked about earlier, and if they say that didn't arrive, you have no tracking to cover your ass. So essentially, you just have to pay for that card. Now you've sent them a card and you have to pay their money back. So anything for me that's over $25, I just bite the bullet. If it's anything over $25, I just track it. It's worth it for me to just eat the price. I know other people in the community that are like, yeah, dude, if it's 50 or less, I just send it plain white envelope. And I'm like, yeah, I've done that before. I sent a Mox Opal years ago for I think $65, and the buyer just said, "Oh no, it didn't arrive. Do you want me to send you some of my cards though?" And I was like, this guy totally screwed me over, but I have no way to prove it. He literally says, "Yeah, but I could send you some of my cards if you're hurting for cards. It never arrived, but I can send you some of my cards." Yeah, the item I bought never ever arrived from you, but I could, just send you some of my cards if you're hurting for cards. I bought something from you that never arrived, but for some reason, out of the kindness of my heart, I'm just going to send you some cards. I don't believe any of that. There are scumbags out there. I'm not going to diminish the amount of scumbags. There is also on PayPal, if you want to save yourself a little bit of time, and normally I do this if I'm selling in bulk and a bunch of my transactions are on PayPal, you can actually print the shipping label, which would replace this. You could print the shipping label, put it right on this. You've already paid for your shipping, and then when you get to the USPS, you can just drop this off. And if I recall correctly, you're actually going to save about $1 on your shipping that you would normally be paying for that tracking. So where it would be like $4.20, I think PayPal is somewhere around $3.15 or 20 cents. Someone would have to look that up. You can put that in the comments. But those are my ways of doing this. Sometimes people are going to put a little piece of tape on the card. And then they're going to do this thing where they tape it inside the envelope. It's going to be in the envelope and taped so it doesn't move around in transit. I don't ever do that. I'm showing you exactly what I do and what I've done for years that has covered my butt. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any other questions, leave it in the comments. I will address all of it, but this should be your definitive guide for shipping in 2021. If you're watching this in 2020, that's great. We're going to make it through this year. But if you are watching this in 2021, that means that there was no reason for me to delete this video or change it or amend it or make any new update to it. I hope it was effective. Everybody on the channel who kept asking for this video, here it is. This is how Jake ships his Magic the Gathering cards and how I will continue to ship my Magic the Gathering cards in the near future. If you liked it, click like, click subscribe. Best way to support the channel with just a click of a button. Until next time, I'm Jake and Joel are Magic. I'm tapped out.